you ready to get this Spy Family panel underway? All right, it is my absolute privilege to bring to the stage at this time, we have Natalie Van Sucene and Megan Schmidt! How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'll try it.
Yes. Hi everyone.
The table.
I know. I don't have my safety blanket of a table in front of me.
I know, right?
Oh, look at me.
Well, this is so awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. When you two were first announced, everyone went absolutely wild because obviously we know Spy Family is a huge success. So congratulations on that. This
Thanks.
is
Stop.
so. I kind of want to pick your brains and kind of ask, how did you guys end up getting involved with the project?
Yeah, so we got the auditions. They went out like a couple weeks before the show started recording, and at the time, like, if you've ever heard of a show before it's, you know, actually, like, before it starts recording, you know that show's going to be pretty big. So I don't know if we knew how big it was going to be, but we knew it was going to be big.
No, I didn't know, like, I mean, that's the thing, like, you when you hear about a show, you kind of know, like, okay, this one's going to be like the show, but you never know, like, how big it's going to be, and I think this has, like, blown us out of the water. Like, I everywhere we go, every weekend we go somewhere, we're just like, what is happening right now? Like, that's literally what we're just like, this many people watch the show? Like, it's crazy, it's a little insane, but yeah, so
yeah, so we got the auditions, and, you know, both read for it, and I happen to have a copy of the manga on hand. I hadn't read it before, so I quickly was like, oh, I need to, like, research and see what this is about. So I read the first volume, and I was like, oh no, I love this.
I hate it when that happens.
You're not supposed to get attached, but I did. So I was like so nervous. I was like, I'm not gonna get this, and I'm just gonna have to, you know, I'm gonna be happy for whoever does, but I'm gonna be so sad. And then I got the call, and I've been in a shared hallucination with all of you since then.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, it's, yeah, so we got the email, and it had the auditions, and I was like, oh yeah, it's that thing. Because, like, for better, for worse, I live on Twitter, and yeah, you know, you know. Don't go there, it's a dangerous place. But I'd seen, like, people talk about it, and so, like, it had been in my peripheral for a while, and I was like, that's kind of how I knew. I was like, okay, yeah, this is, like, you know. But I didn't think, like, it would be, again, this big, but yeah, I got the audition, and I also do directing and stuff, so I'm busy. Sometimes I'm like, where am I? Like, I showed up yesterday, I was like, where am I? I don't even know what time it is. I don't know what's happening. But that's my constant state of being. And so when I got the audition, I was just like, okay, it's this thing. Yeah, it's okay, great. And then I went and I watched the trailer, and I was like, cool. I already know that my best shot is this little girl, because I don't have the mommy voice. That's Natalie's and it's such a great voice. And so I was like, cool, I'm just gonna try to sound as, because I was like, oh, she's, like, really childish, like, she's really funny, like, she has a lot of funny moments. Even in the trailer, when it was just the trailer that was out, I was like, oh, she's funny. So I really just, like, I did the audition, and I just, like, I made it as childish and stupid as possible, and it worked. So it was great. I also got kind of stressed because I didn't initially get the email, and I was like freaking out. I was like, or I think my email didn't have, because, you know, we just auditioned from home, and they're like, yeah, just submit it to this box over here, and then whatever. I didn't have the link. For whatever reason, I was like, I don't know where to send it. And luckily, I've known Chris George for years now. Like, he engineered my very first show I ever worked on. So I texted him really quick. I was like, can I just email this to you? I don't know where to put this. I need to give this to you. And he was like, yeah, just send it to me, whatever. So yeah, that was fun. And then I was like, thank God, thank God, because yeah, but it was fun. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you read for each other's parts as well.
Yeah, initially.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. My audition process now is, because I've just learned, like, over the years, I have learned I can't pigeonhole myself, even though I know, like, all right, like, I'm not gonna be the mom, like, come on. I mean, I've played a couple moms, but they're always like bits. They're like, hey, come in, we need a mom voice really quick. And I'm like, hi, hello, you know, and it's like, okay, great. But never like a mom, but I still read for it because you never know, I guess, because that's like the one thing I've learned from like doing workshops and classes and other things. It's like, don't pigeonhole yourself, because you never know. Someone will be like, I love that mom voice, and I'll go, okay, whatever you want. So yeah, so I read for both of them. I didn't read for Lloyd. I mean, did not read for Lloyd. So yeah.
No, I took one look at Anya and I was like, I'm not that kawaii. I can't do that.
You are. Stop it. You are kawaii
In a different way.
in a mom way.
Ada.
You're ada, and I'm not even waku waku. Yeah, I'm waku waku, and you're ada.
So what do you think it is about Spy Family that sets it apart from other anime and made it this instant huge success?
I think it's very, very accessible, especially like if you like anime and you like some of the best anime tropes and the best, like, most comfortable, heartwarming kind of aspects of the show. I think it like perfectly embodies all of that. And also, if I'm being completely honest, we showed it to a family member, and when it got done, she's like, that was so nice. Her boobies weren't bouncing at all. It was so good. I love that about this. So I feel like, in a certain degree, it's a little more accessible to people who aren't quite ready for that part yet.
I love. You didn't tell me that. I love that. That's great. I love that. I mean, that is kind of rare these days.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like we're really desensitized to it. We're just like, that's not how physics work, but whatever. Anyways, we just gotta get this done. So it's really great when you're placing the line and then it's just like,
oh yeah, it was zoomed in. You're just like, okay, frame by frame.
And then the engineer has to place the line, and the video's just like going frame by frame, and you're like, okay, here we go. So yeah, we're just desensitized, but it is nice. It's nice to have like another show that you can, because sometimes people come like, do you have a show that like my like 5th grader could watch? And I'm like, sometimes it's hard. It's like if it's not like My Hero, you're just like, I don't know. But this is like another one in that. I think that's what makes, again, it's so accessible, because you can be like, you could recommend this show, and you have no fear that a parent will then go, I'm never listening to that woman ever again. She lied to me, you know.
And it was so cute too. Like, I just think the premise is great. Like, I've been working in anime for 5 or 6 years at this point, and my parents have known what I, for the most part, most of what I work on. And I've like explained some of it to them, and for the most part, they're kind of, again, they're kind of like, oh yeah, her boobies are big. Good, congratulations. But like, I had explained the plot of this one to my family, and it was so cute because my parents live around somewhat within the area, and we went out to dinner with an old coworker of my dad's, and it was so cool because my dad was trying to explain to this coworker why I was in town and why we were meeting up, and then proceeds to explain to the best of his knowledge how he understands Spy Family, and just was glowing and seemed like he was so excited for the show. And he's like, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very excited to watch it. And that's a first. I've never had that happen.
I'm just excited to go home and be like, they're like, how was your weekend, Megan? And I'll go, I just did next to Giancarlo Esposito all weekend. It was no big deal, like I showed up yesterday and I was like, what do you mean I'm next to Giancarlo Esposito? And they're like, yeah, he's just right there. And I was like, okay, like, all right, here I am. They're like, you're on the big wall. And I was like, the big wall. So yeah.
Well, since you did mention Giancarlo, what were some of your fandoms growing up? Like, did you guys grow up watching anime, or were you into Star Wars? What were you into?
Yeah, I loved anime. I've always loved anime, so I am one of you. I am.
Welcome. We love you.
I know, you'll see me, I already went yesterday and I walked around the artist alley and I was like, I'll take that, and my husband's always like, don't spend the money you make, and I'm like, I can't help it, everyone's so talented. And they make pretty things and I want them. So yeah, I love anime. I mean, Star Wars, yeah, Star Wars. Kind of everything. I mean, I like it all. Don't get me started on Stranger Things. Don't ask me about Stranger Things. We'll be here for 5 hours and they won't let us stay here that long. So you can't talk to me about that. But yeah, so I like everything.
Yeah, I didn't get into anime nearly as quickly. My dad, bless him, his idea of trying to keep me from like being glued to the TV was just to not tell me that Saturday morning cartoons existed until I discovered Sky Dancers when I was in the 2nd grade, and then it was all downhill from there. Yeah, Sky Dancers were my entry, like my gateway drug.
My dad, I would watch Yu-Gi-Oh, and my dad would also make fun of Yu-Gi-Oh, and we would be in the car, and I don't know, he would just be like, "What's that show you watch, Megan?" I'd be like, "Oh, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, Dad." I'm like in middle school or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, the one where they're like, I lay down this card, but no, my card is better. No, my card is better." And I'd be like, "Dad, please," and then I'd be like, "But he's right. I get it." But of course, me, the middle schooler, was like, "Dad, stop it. It's cool." Like,
yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was like my first like anime that I watched, and it was like, oh no, there's so many stupid boys in this, and I love all of them. Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I was really into. I was also really into Star Wars. Like, I was very into the extended universe when I was in like late elementary, middle school, and Redwall series too. If anybody is in that niche little group, thank you. Thank you for
all
being here
5
with
of
me.
you. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Solidarity. Look,
You're in the right place.
Was my boy. Listen.
Before we do get into questions from the audience, if you guys want to start lining up, now is your opportunity. Megan, you did mention that you're also into directing as well.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? How did you...
It's so weird because a lot of this job is just like, I got into it because like I've been doing voice acting for like 5 years, and to be fair, I walk in these rooms and I go to these places and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not that interesting. But okay, so I'm very like, I'm always like taken aback, so I'm very like, I don't know if humble is the word. It feels weird to call yourself humble, you know what I mean? You're just like, I'm so humble, but no. But so it took me a long time to kind of work up the nerve because I was a teacher for 3 years, and then I said, I am not doing that again. I'll give you 2 words: middle school. No, there you go. See, it always gets, everyone's like, get out of there while you can. So I was like, goodbye, I'm not doing this anymore. But I was already working doing this, and then I was like, well, I really want to direct because I had the thought of like, I feel like I get it. Like I've watched so much anime growing up, and now I've been in so much anime, and so I really had to like work up the nerve because I still felt like I'm not worthy. And I asked Caitlin Glass, who is wonderful. You might know her as Haruhi and Orania, and then she directs Fruits Basket, the new Fruits Basket. Yeah, she's great. I love her. And I asked her, I was like, hey, can I like shadow you? Can I just kind of learn how directing works? And she's so nice and she's so knowledgeable. And she let me shadow her and watch, and then she had me on for her assistant director for a few, I want to say like a year, which it's like 5 projects sounds like not a lot, but that's like a year because every season is like 12 weeks. So, and then after that, she was so sweet, and she was also the one who kind of told the producers that we have, because she was working on, again, Fruits Basket and another project, and a new season of Show by Rock came up, and she was like, well, I don't have time to do this, so she told the producers, hey, give it to Megan, because we work really well together, and if there's any, like, because she'd done the first 2 seasons of Show by Rock, and so she was like, if you want, we can text, and so she was like, it'll be fine, because like we work together already, so if we need to collaborate on this and make it work, it'll be great. And so she was really sweet, and I've been really lucky because freelance work is not constant work, and so I've been really lucky that since I started doing Show by Rock, I've been constantly directing for like a year and a half now, which is crazy to me because, again, freelance work is not guaranteed work. So I just keep going, well, maybe I'll just I'll just like chill out for a season or two. And then they're like, you want to do this? And I'm like, yes, yes, thank you, I do. So I've been really lucky, but yeah, so that's kind of how I learned. It's kind of one of those jobs you just kind of learn how to do as you do it. You just have to have someone kind of teach you, and yeah, I hope I'm good at it. I guess I'm good at it because they keep asking me to do more.
Spoiler, she is.
Stop it! I also assistant directed. Well, yeah, I directed you for some of Spy Family because Chris, the director, was out of town and he was like, "Please, I need you to help me. Please, I need help." And I was like, "You got it." And so I directed you. I directed your drunk scene. That's right. Yeah, that was us. That was all us. Chris can take no credit for that. That was us, and we made it funny, and it was so good. So you're all welcome.
All right, so I guess let's go to the questions. Once again, just one question per person, and I don't know if this is going to be a pain in the butt, but if you guys can kneel down just so everyone behind you can see if you're waiting in line. If it's
leg day.
I know, but when you're asking questions, yeah, I know, I hate having to do that, but go right ahead.
Hi, my name's Ava, and I wanted to say it's a pleasure to meet you both. Like,
Pleasure to meet you, Ava.
I can't even.
I can't even. You see this room of people?
I wanted to ask, out of anime, and it can be any anime that you have done, who is another voice actor you love to work with? Like, it can be J. Michael Tatum, it can be Damon Mills, it can be Christopher Sabat, it can be whoever.
Chris Sabat's the one. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's great. It's hard because like when you do this and you start meeting everyone and you get to know everyone, everyone is genuinely so sweet. So it's really hard. Like I went and I said hi to Brandon and Michael yesterday because I haven't seen them in a long time because they moved to LA. So now they're not like even in Dallas. And I was like, hi, and Tatum thought I was just another con person. I had my mask on and I walked up and he was like, well, to be fair, the last time he saw me, I did not have purple hair, which is years ago at this point now, so that also should tell you how long it's been. But he was like, hi. And then I just kind of stared at him and I pulled my mask on. He was like, oh, hi, God, I'm such a jerk. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no, it's hilarious. Thank you. I'm glad I'm so anonymous. But yeah, no, I love, it's so hard. If I had to pick, I'll just say, if I had to pick someone here, I mean, and that's the thing, I've worked with, as a director, I have worked with I feel like almost everyone here, which is crazy to me. I don't know. I'm not gonna wrap my head. I'll process that later. Like Zach is great. I don't know. They're all just fun. I can't pick one, but we'll say Zach Aguilar because he's a precious little baby boy. And I asked him one time. I was like, Zach, how old are you? And he was like, I'm like 22. And I was like, I'm old. No, I'm getting old. It's like I was like, oh no. But no, he's precious. I love him.
I also moonlight as an audio engineer, so I've worked on the engineering end of things, and so my go-to, and I always, gosh, like there are so many good people. It's really genuinely hard to find anyone who you do not enjoy working with and who does not make this job a delight. Like it's really saturated with a lot of good people. So this definitely comes with a heavy asterisk of pretty much everyone you bump into is pretty great. But the one that always sticks out into my mind was because it was one of the first projects I worked on. It was a little OVA series called Phantom Trigger, and we had Brittany Karbowski in as the lead, and I was still like baby trying to figure out what I was doing, and oh my God, she just blew me away. Like I had never seen anyone who, like I was still very new to anime, so like the idea of doing what she's capable of was just mind-blowing. So just watching her, you know, like we'd put a whole page of the script, and she wouldn't even, like normally we preview the Japanese, but she's like so good, she's been doing this so long and she knows what she's doing. She just followed the whole Japanese, and then I'm sitting there as the engineer placing all the lines, and I'm like, all of these line up, all of these fit, all of these sound good. She didn't stumble. Like, I was just like, how do you do that? That's
You are a
amazing. That's amazing. How do people get this talented? I want to be like that someday.
You are, now you are. Because I directed you. I was like, yeah, Natalie will finish this, it'll be great. They're like, oh, Natalie needs to record for 3 hours. I'm like, oh, we can do this in an hour and a half. Natalie's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the first time I was like totally like amazed and like realized the capability of the people working. But since then it's like, oh man,
Everyone's so nice.
and nice, yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. What's your name?
Oh, this was not made for short. Oh god.
You can tilt it down.
Yeah,
Thank
it won't
you.
break. It won't break.
What has been your favorite voice line that you've done?
Well, now that I have Anya, I have so many. Where do I start? It's such a cop-out now because I just get all the best lines. I love the help, I'm being trafficked. I was like, Anya, please, you're 5. Where did you learn this word? Whose mind did you listen to? Poor child. Oh, God. So, yeah.
I'm still like circling the drain on the one that like immediately comes to mind and is like the definitive line. I definitely, one of my favorites recently was I worked on a show called Full Dive. And I had this one line where the character I play, she owns a like a video game store, and this guy comes in basically asking for like Final Fantasy 32 or something like that, and she's just like, can people do anything else? And she just screams at him. She's like, what are you, a lemming? And that was like one of my favorite things I've ever had to do.
It's really fun when you get to yell insults at people.
Yes, that I don't know why that one stuck with me, but I thought that one was very funny.
Tatum writes scripts, and one time he wrote in a script that I got to say, I got to call someone a plebeian, which was fun. Which, I mean, if you read a J. Michael Tatum script, that really falls in line with his vernacular. So, you know, he's just like, he really is like, I'm gonna write all the big words I can. And sometimes we're like, we don't, Tatum, please. But most of the time you're like, I like this insult. This is great, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great question. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Skylar. I was wondering what was your favorite part about Spy Family?
My favorite part, I love the last episode where they go to the aquarium. I was really excited to do that because like, I've been reading the manga, I'm all caught up, and I was really excited to do that. So I was so happy to do all the funny little voices for Mr. Chimera and Agent Penguin Man. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty great. And also to tell Yor and Lloyd, I hate you both. I hate you. It's so great. I was like, wow, she's really pulling out all the stops here, huh? Dang. And they're like, please, little child, there's bombs in this house. She knows. She doesn't care. She's like, it's fine. I want the bombs.
When I came in to record that scene, we were cackling at the way like you perfectly mastered like the child, or she's just crying. She's going, ah! And then she stops and goes,
Yeah, I will say that's kind of because all of the stuff in Japan is basically prelay, right? So I feel like sometimes we do have an advantage in the dubs where we can match what we're doing to exactly what the animation is, which they don't get to do in Japan. And it's still great, but so yeah, like and I think in the J she didn't have that, but she was still sounded hilarious. But I was able to add that in because they animated her going, like taking these big gasping, like, you know, when you're crying, she's just like, it was so funny. And they were like, I was like, can I just let me do that again. I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit. And we all were like, yeah. So we've done that multiple times when she cries. So. Yeah. What's your favorite?
I honestly, like, again, having read the manga, I was definitely looking forward most to the whole bit where Yuri came over for dinner. Like, I mean, anytime drunk Yuri's in the picture, I'm having a great time. But that one, I was really excited for, and it totally lived up to my expectations. Like that whole sequence, like. I was just cackling every time she like punched him, and then I was watching the episode ahead of time too because I wanted to see how they did that scene in particular. And I was home alone one night watching that, and when he runs into the wall as he's like running off and screaming, and he just face plants into the wall, I was like scream cackling. I really loved that.
Well,
scene.
also
So
okay, because like we made that scene. Again, Chris George didn't make that scene. We made that scene. I remember I was so amazed because when you should go watch it, when she punches Yuri, okay, Natalie hits this decibel, like I was like, she's already like screeching, like really, like real screeching, and your voice, it's like it started here, and then it went to here, and I just remember my eyebrows going, holy crap, I was like, oh my god, and I just started laughing and when you were done, I was like, I didn't know your voice could reach that level of I think the dogs heard you down the street, like, oh my god, it's so great. Please go listen to that scream because it was so funny. Like that whole scene's great. We made it great. I mean, I love Chris George. He does great, but we made it super funny.
Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Tyler, hello.
Hi,
I met you two yesterday.
Yeah.
And okay, when you mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh, my question just hit me. So as a kid, I grew up watching Cartoon Network. So, and I honestly didn't know that three shows were considered anime. But by any chance, did either of you who grow up watching Pokemon, Bakugan, or Beyblade? Any of the three?
I watched Pokemon. I never watched Beyblade, but my little middle school heart, like I never watched it. But again, this is a lot about my formative years. I would always see like the commercials and I'd be like, whoever that dashing silver-haired boy is, boy oh boy, do I like him. But then I never watched the show. So, you know, I was like, he's cute. As like a 13-year-old, but you know.
Unfortunately, most of those passed me by. I think the one exception was that my friend who I hung out with a lot during that period when that was popular had the board game with the original 150, and that's the only way I know the 150. Like after that, like I'm completely useless with Pokemon trivia, and other than there's one newer one named Rockruff that looks exactly like my dog, so that one I know, and I have like plushies and figurines because it's so cute. I love Rockruff, but I have like no investment in the Pokemon franchise other than I was like,
Other than Rockruff.
and I remember playing this game too. Like my friend did not understand why I was constantly trying to collect all the ones I thought was the cutest and like most fit my aesthetic when it did not make sense. Like, why don't you want the more powerful ones? And I'm like, they're not cute.
Because
though.
they're ugly.
I want the horse and the dog ones.
Why would I want
Why
the
do I want
lizard
everything
when I
else?
could get the sheep? Why?
Exactly, like my brain's logic.
I
so
understand you.
I would absolutely be collecting all the useless ones because I'm like, but they're cute though.
Oh, look how cute this little caterpillar is. You're so cute.
I don't want to fight them. No.
And you said that Yu-Gi-Oh was like a show where they win based on who has the better card. Beyblade, whoever screams the loudest wins.
Perfect. Good. I feel like that's how all those shows work. It's just like one card's better than the other. Whoever screams the loudest wins. I'm sure parents loved that when that was a thing. So yeah, thank you.
Great question. Great. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Mora. I
Hi.
love Spy X Family. It's honestly one of my favorites right now. This might be out of your comfort zone a little, but you were mentioning how you tried for yours part. Do you think you guys could each try each other's voices?
Oh
Yeah. Say it.
If you're comfortable with that.
Say help, I'm being trafficked. Say it right now. Or you can say I want a pistol with a silencer. Do it. Help, I'm being trafficked! See, it's so fun. No 5-year-old would say that. I don't believe she's 5 or 6 for 1 second. That girl's 4 years old. I
Absolutely.
firmly believe she lied. What do you say? I don't even know what you say because I just...
Oh, do you want to do? I have the honor of taking your life this evening.
Ooh, yes. Oh, yeah. See, I'm not in those scenes because I'm just walking around like a doofus in the show, like like living in Anya land, and I never get to hear your cool lines. Y'all always get to hear me be a dweeb. Oh, Anya. What is it? It's, may I have the honor of taking your life
This evening?
this
Yes.
evening? May I have the honor of taking your life this evening? Mommy voice.
Thank you so much and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
My question is, out of all of the expressions Anya has made in the entire season, which one is your favorite, if it's at all possible to choose one?
God, it's so hard. I mean, the easy one is her face. But God, I love her face when after she punches Damien. Her face when she's like, he just ran into, I put my hand out and he ran into it. Like they drew her with this stupid little beak mouth, and it makes me laugh every time. Like I see it, I just go, like, and I'm pretty easy to entertain, so it's like every time my little ADD brain is just like, there it is again. It's okay, it never gets old. And I think they did it for a couple times too, and it's so funny. What's your favorite, Mom?
I think the one I fixated on and like my brain refused to let go was the aquarium episode when Lloyd finally comes back with the penguin plushie. And we had this line where yours just like, oh, thank God, you're saving me from having to talk to the neighbors. And I remember as we were placing that cue, I just could not stop laughing at Anya because she's down in the corner and her eyes are as big as dinner plates. And she's just staring at the penguin like,
This is that
best day of my life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. God, and again, I hear nothing in those scenes because all I get to do during those scenes is just go, and I'm like, she's like crawling all over the penguin, you know? So I was just like, I hear nothing. I hear nobody else because that's what I'm doing in all these scenes.
Mine is the expression Anya makes when your attempts to explain fractions. It's like the one moment where Anya's like, I'm now regretting my decision.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, they think I'm smart. She's like, I shouldn't have lied. She doesn't learn though, because she's gonna keep lying. It's great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look forward to season 2.
Yay! Same. Yeah! Yeah! We've talked a lot. I love Stranger Things. Don't talk to me about Stranger Things. Anyways, go on. Sorry, I'm move on with my life.
Oh, you're good. My question's actually for you.
For me.
Yes. How much fun did you have making all those baby noises? Because we know that kids make a lot of noises.
I always tell people that's like the best part because the best part about Anya is that she's such a well-written child and it's so simple. Like it's just like, why didn't I think of that, right? Because it's like every anime is like, I'm a 10,000-year-old being in a 5-year-old body, and you're like, okay, Japan, let's move on from this trope, please. But she's like legitimately a child, and she's written as a simple child. So it's so much fun to just be her. And again, it's like I tell people, it's like this fine line we have to walk when we're recording because she can't sound like too much of a baby, but she can't sound too adult either. She has to be it's this very fine line of, okay, well, don't sound too old, but also don't sound like you're goo goo gaga, you know, like you're not, she knows how to speak. So yeah, it's really fun, like finding that place and then getting in that groove and getting to make all the sounds. My favorite again is when she cries because I now have a great child cry. I mean, she's trained me well. But yeah, so it's so fun because again, she's a literal child. There's no like, I'm just a snarky little 10,000-year-old demon lady in a 6-year-old's body, and it's not like that. It's literally like, food, and you know, like and it's, you know, she can't spell and she doesn't know how anything works. So it's so fun. It's great. I have a lot of fun.
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Maggie. So I'm a Starbucks barista, and I wanted to know what their go-to drinks would be at Starbucks.
What their drinks would be? Ooh, well, I feel like I'm really well suited for this because I don't like coffee, but I go to Starbucks and I get the refreshers because I still need caffeine, and I'm like, please, like, inject it into my blood, please. So I don't know, Anya would, I mean, she clearly would get something pink. I don't know if she'd get the pink drink.
Maybe the pink drink with the cold foam on top?
Yeah, something really sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah, probably pink drink with cold foam. Yeah.
My mind is going to the fact that Yor can't cook and has like no concept of what like normal things are, and I was like thinking, I was like, okay, she's probably gonna get like, you know, like a black coffee or like an Americano with nothing in it. Like
An Americano, like 12 espresso shots.
Exactly, yeah. And it's gonna do nothing for her. She's just gonna be like, oh, that was nice. That felt good. Like, you know, it's just not gonna hit her at all. And my brain immediately went to the John Mulaney bit where his dad pulls through the McDonald's and gets, you know, a small black coffee and nothing else. And I feel like Yor would do that accidentally. Like, his dad did that on purpose, just to be like, kids, we're not, you know, McDonald's, no, I'm not gonna take you there. Like, Yor would just be like, oh, I need to stop and get coffee, and Anya's in the back like, I want something. She's like,
No.
we were here.
No,
Oh, wait, wait, what?
No
What?
chicken nuggets, sorry. No nuggies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool question. All right, what's your name?
Adam, pleasure to meet you, ladies.
Hello, pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. My question for you is, for both of you, have you ever tried an acting role that was challenging for you, or what was the most challenging role for you?
I can't remember I can't remember like the name or like anything, but anytime I have to do, I always get nervous when I play, like do little boys, even if it's just like a little bit, because you're like, I don't know, you know, it's just, it's always like that, I don't want to mess this up, you know, and sound stupid. That's always the fear, like, I don't want to sound stupid. Little boys are like, anytime anyone calls me in to do something that's like a mature lady, not just my, like, I've done roles that are just my voice, and that's fun, because they're usually just screaming and doing whatever. But anytime it's like, oh, well, we need you to be this like kind of evil looking person, and I'm always like, you know, you called me in, right? Like, okay, whatever you say. But yeah, those kind of make me nervous, and I'm always like, I hope I did okay. I'm not being, thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I was gonna actually say little boys are probably and for me the thing is, like, I tend to play a lot of more mature characters that have more reserved energy, or it's more about the, you know, the sexy undertone or the confidence, the swagger, you know, something like that, where the evil actually slot into that quite a bit. So when you just get to like pure child energy, like whenever you know, I get done with those sessions, like I did you know, like a 2-hour session for this random kid in Prince of Tennis, and I remember by the end of it I was just like, oh my god, how do people do this? This is so much energy.
Yeah.
Because you're just, children just yell, they just are
and also,
on.
and also little boy voices are always like in the back of your throat. So a lot of times, like like I did young Sanji in One Piece, Whole Cake Island. Yeah, I know. And I played young Sanji. He's the one that just gets kicked in the face all the time. So every single session, it was just me going, ah! And I'd be like, I'm gonna go drink 12 water bottles after this. Like, it was hard, and so like it is nerve-wracking, and those are difficult because, again, kids scream, boy voices are in your throat, so you can't like fake it, you know, you can't give it like an anime scream, as I call it, and you just have to go for it, and it can be rough on your throat sometimes. So yeah,
it's kind of hard to top that one.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, so I apologize. We only have time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions.
All right,
So
we'll
sorry.
rapid fire.
Okay,
Let's go.
what's your name?
Hi, my name is Avery.
Hello.
I'm actually just only very recently starting to get really interested in your work with Spy Family and a lot of other things. Is there anything you've worked on that you're really proud of that you recommend? 'Cause I just want to see, I'm always looking to see more, learn
Yes.
more, get more.
If my favorite pop idol made it to the Budokan, I would die. I play Aripio, the lead. It's about a woman living in Tokyo who discovers an underground idol group and she becomes like a hardcore fan of one of the girls who's like the least favorite girl, and it's just this like comedy of errors of them going around and like she's supporting them and she's like, I love you, Mina, and it's like, it's so great. I'm super proud of that show. I think it sounds amazing. I think it turned out really good. So
I have not seen the dub for that, but I did watch the sub, Me.
you should watch it. It's really great. I'm proud of what I did. I don't say that often, but I like it.
For me, definitely it would have to be, there's a show called Arte, which is based on it's a fictional kind of inspired by tale of the real life painter Artemisia Gentilischi, or not Gentilischi, is it Gentilischi? I can't remember.
Sounds right to me.
I think so. I just like went with my gut and then I went, did I get that right? Anyways, it's about a female Italian Renaissance painter. Wonderful. It was one of the first remote dubs I ever worked on, and I got to play.
It's really pretty too.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Felicia Angel, or I was like
Angel, yeah.
Angel, was the main character and did an amazing job. Another wonderful person to work with, and yes, I totally recommend that one. I got to play someone who shows up in the second half when she goes to Venice, I think. So I love that one.
I'll definitely have to check that out in English then again. I watch a lot in Japanese. I used to be, when I had more time and money, I just then watched the dub on the Blu-ray. I've fallen out. I really got to get back on that.
There's a lot of good ones. There's so many good ones. Well, thank you.
No, thank you.
All right. What's your name?
I'm Anya.
Anya!
And my question today is, what is it like working with like a family? Like, I can understand working with like a kind of anime like about like a friend group or something, but like I feel like this is more complicated because it's like a family.
Yeah, there's layers to the family. So yeah, it's interesting because I mean, like Anya knows everything. So like I get to go in and be like, you know, this is stupid, right? Like that's what I get to do, but they get to go in and just be like, I'm just gonna go to work, honey, bye. And then she's like, I die, you know. But yeah, no, it is fun because you get to have those like little like cute, sweet moments that, you know, like anytime Yor is like teaching Anya to do something, I'm always like, wow, look at them, they're so cute and they're precious and it's adorable because they're bonding and they're so cute. Even if she's like, Yor can't cook and breaks Yor's heart, but you know, I like that there's layers to like their family dynamic, but you still get those very basic like, oh well, I'm Mama and there's Papa and it's fine, and so yeah, it's nice.
I think there's a little bit more pressure than like a friend group too, that they,
right.
You know, like they have to overcome a lot of things to make sure they stay together, and I think that kind of really changes the dynamic in a very cool way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love Spy Family so much.
Thank you.
All right, this is going to be the final question, and then we're all going to take a big picture together, so make sure you guys stick around. All right, go ahead, what's your name?
My name is Coda, and I just wanted to ask specifically for Natalie first. What is like a headcanon you have about yours specifically? Like, what is something you think she would do in 2020?
Ooh, in 2020.
Like 2020 sounds like the worst year we've always had.
It's the worst year. It's the worst timeline.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I feel like Yor might be someone who's like, well, I don't have like a job, like especially if she was stuck home for a while and didn't have like a job to go to. I feel like she would have been one of those people that was like, well, time to get swole, like big time. And she'd just do it for fun. Like she'd just be like, oh, I'm used to training. I'm used to this. Let me see how many games I can get, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that would just like kind of hit her as like a natural like continuation of her current trajectory.
Anya would just try to break out of the house. She'd be like, what do you mean I can't go to the candy store? They'd be like, you can't go to the candy store. And she'd be like, no. And they'd be like, stay put, child. And that would be a fun thing to try and do because it wouldn't work, so.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, well, I totally apologize. Before we do wrap it up, any final thoughts, and then we're going to take the picture.
Yes, thank you guys, because honestly, like, y'all have been great this weekend. It's so nice getting to meet all of you, and you come to the tables, and again, we've been going, this is like, what, the second or third con we've been to for like Spy Family and stuff, and every time we go somewhere, we're just like, what is happening? Like, and it blows our minds every time just to see how many people want to come meet us or say hi to us, come to these things. Like, I remember starting and going to my first ever panel, and there's like 3 people there, and I was like, hey, yeah, let's talk about whatever for for an hour, I guess. Let's hang out. Y'all want to watch some anime? I don't know. Like, it was very like chill. So yeah, just like it is astounding to me to like just, I don't know. I feel lucky. So thank you. I appreciate, like, thank you.
Yeah, same, honestly. Like, this is surreal.
Yeah, it's so surreal. And I mean, and that's the thing, it wouldn't be, like, we wouldn't get to be here if you guys didn't love it so much. That's why it's just like, we feel so, like, grateful, because we're always like, anytime you're like, oh, I want to meet you so bad, and I'm like, thanks for wanting to talk to me. I thank you. Like, it's such like a weird dynamic, but yeah, we're just really grateful, so thank you.
Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Thank you for watching that video. I'm the guy holding the camera for this panel, and if you want to see other panels that I went to, check out this channel. And if you're a fan of Spy X Family, or if you like anime in general, be sure to check out this channel. I have a lot more anime content and things I think you'd be interested in, and if you want to check that out, I'd be super appreciative. Subscribing, liking the videos, these are things that make my brain happy, and I'd appreciate any of your time. Thank you, and with that, I leave you.